Hey everybody, Thomas B. Riley. This is Mr. V, and I'm going to go through a quick tutorial on your next assignment. This is what I would do if I was given this assignment. I'm going to start with this staff paper, okay? Now you'll see on this staff paper that two lines are connected already. This is called a grand staff, okay? It means that I can have a treble clef there and a bass clef here. All right, now it also means that I have to figure out how many bars are on each line. And for me, it's always easier for me to start with a ruler and for me to make an even amount of bars on each line. So I'm going to put 4 bars on each line because it divides so nicely. I'm going to connect these two here, okay, these two here, those, whoops, that was in my way. So I'm on an iPad here with an Apple Pencil, which I use to write music, but it's the same thing for you to be sitting at your desk with a pencil, right? Because we need to be able to erase a pencil and some staff paper. It's called staff paper or manuscript paper or music paper, okay? So let's just do that. And you can find it online. It's very, very easy. All you Google manuscript paper or staff paper, and as long as you've got a grand staff, so the two lines connected. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm dividing this all nice and even just so that I can get a nice visual as I compose this. Everything should be right on top of each other too. Remember we talked about this in class, that every beat and bar line, everything needs to align. It's key. Now you guys started to do this on your the last Friday. Some of you got a chance to write these out a little bit. So it's very important. Okay, I'm going to just quickly add my treble clef and my bass clef here. These are really messy. Do them better than me, okay? I'd get docked points because it has to be legible. As Mr. Parker has said, we really have to be able to read this. Okay, so there's my ruler. I'm going to get rid of my ruler. There is my grand staff. That is a total of 20 measures on this page. 4 measures per line, 5 lines. Now, we've talked about all kinds of ways of finding rhythms and listening to the music that you're listening to and finding rhythms. I'm going to right now put a tempo on this, and I think that my tempo is probably going to be maybe that's about, well, I'm going to take it down just a little bit. Now let's see if I can get it visible on that. Okay, do you see that pulsating a little bit on the corners? This is a really great app called Fourscore that really allows you to keep time and everything. So, but about 117, I might even take that down just a little bit to 110. Remember, it's not always easier to put a slower tempo. Slower tempos are a bit of an illusion that they're easy because sometimes you have to really learn how to hang back. Remember, we've talked about timing a little bit. All right, so here I am. So how am I going to compose? Well, I'm going to start with that Take On Me song that we started to learn a little bit. And if you remember some of the palmas that we did, it kind of went. Okay, so I'm going to start that first with a bass drum note. Whoops, let's get my right pen for the right job here. Boom. Okay, I've got a rest above that note. I've got a snare hit on beat 2 and a rest here. You see how everything aligns. Remember, this all has to line up nice and neat. Okay, so that's my beat 1 and my beat 2. I'm going to put another quarter note on beat 3 here. I'm going to put a rest here, and I'm going to put something interesting here. 2 eighth notes. Oops. Actually, no, I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it here. Okay. And above here, I'm going to put 2 eighth notes. So that is, so that's about 110. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's my first measure. That's my partner and myself playing the first measure. Now you get creative. There are certain criteria that we need everybody to follow so that there's not a whole lot of repeats going on. You don't want to just kind of fake your way through this and put a whole bunch of repeats. You don't want to use limited notes. You don't want to have whole notes. You want to make this interesting. Remember, this is a conversation between the top line and the bottom line. So maybe my next measure for the bottom line, and maybe I'm just working on the bottom line for a little while, and you know, you and your partner are going to be working together on this, so you can collaborate and make sure that it's interesting for both sides, that there's this conversation going on, and that it's not too complex. There shouldn't be moments where it's really on the offbeat, on off, and then you're kind of struggling between the two parts. You want to make sure that they synchronize nicely and that there's this conversation. So boom, cha, boom, boom, cha, cha. Maybe I want a dotted quarter here. Remember, dotted quarter is my best friend in this kind of music. I'm going to do maybe something like this. Okay, boom, 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 boom. And then maybe I've got some boom, 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 boom. Maybe I've got 4 of them, right? 4 beamed eighth notes. So that bottom part from the start is boom, 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 boom. It's definitely building there. Maybe the top part has a note that shares something there. And maybe the top part does something like that, so that these 2 notes line up, okay? But that dot is being held on the bottom and it's being played on the top, okay? So I'll see if I can add 2 lines later in this video of me playing both parts. But for now, I'm just going to go through. Maybe I've got a rest. Got a rest here on beat 3. Maybe I've got another rest here, an 8th rest, and I play just the last note with my partner on that bottom line, right? This one here, we play together. That might sound interesting. Maybe I've got on the top, I've got a rest there. Maybe I've got another 8th rest and some sort of 8th note there. And maybe just to help my partner out, because that bottom line is a bit tricky, maybe I'm just really emphasizing beat 3 and beat 4 that are being played here and here. So my partner is going to be playing a note in the middle of these 2 notes. Boom, chip, boom, chip. That could be interesting. You want to challenge yourself a little bit, obviously, and have some fun with this. Let me erase. Make sure my eraser isn't too wide. There. Well, it's gone. Okay, so there is a start. Just make sure that everything is aligning, and it should be fun. I'll stop the video now. I will finish the rest of this, and then I'll play something back with the 2 lines for you to hear. And maybe this is low palmas, right? Low palmas and high palmas, so that we can really hear the difference between the 2. And maybe there's a quiet part here. Piano. Forte. Maybe, you know, and this isn't part of the assignment, but maybe you want to make some dynamics in here so that you can really have this conversation grow and develop and be interesting. Okay, so I'm going to stop and I'll finish this and then play it again. Okay, I only did 4, 8, 12 measures just to kind of give you an idea, but I do want to point out a few things because I find this interesting as a conversation. Okay, so you'll notice that on the second system, that's what that's called, the second line, I've got a boom, 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 boom. Okay, so there's some call and response going on there. There's a conversation happening between the top and the bottom where it's dum dum ka, kun, kun, dum. And then in this measure, I play together. We have a rest, bum, bum. Okay, so that would be like a horn section or something in an old Motown song or something. All right, and then there's another call and response, dun 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 dun. All right, so that's something definitely you can see that there's interplay between the 2 lines. And then on this line, I've got a big sort of build up, dun 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 dun. So they're playing that together. That's something that you and your partner will need to synchronize really well and practice this a bunch. And then I've got bum, 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 bum. Okay? So it doesn't take much. This isn't very complex, but it is something that you can definitely see that there are patterns that are being repeated from the top and the bottom, call and response, different alignments. There's a rest or a note where one has a rest and one has a note, and then it kind of switches up a little bit. The top can sort of suggest the melody, if you will, the phrase, and then the bottom can also repeat that, or the bottom can start the phrase for the top to repeat. So there are some ideas, and now I'll play this top to bottom with both parts. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. So that is only 12 measures of the 20 measures that you're required to do for this assignment. And good luck and have some fun.